It's like I feel it for the first time. Been thinking about you all night. I've been searching for this all my life. You're just my type. I've been looking for a boy who can treat me right. Your dark hair with those eyes so bright. They look into my soul and it sparks my life. Can I take you there? Like it was the first time. Do you remember? Can I take you there?
Hello everyone and welcome to another Planet Sport interview. Now quickly, before we start, I've been given a bit of a request. It says that 90% of the viewers on the channel aren't subscribed. So if you haven't subscribed already, please do. It helps the channel out massively, obviously increases our audience, and also Paul Dan and the other guys who are, who's slaving away editing these videos. It just gives them a bit more will to live. So if you could subscribe, that would be fantastic. But we have another interview today. We have the Archery team with me today. And what we're going to be doing is, as usual, we're going to be going through the ins and outs of the clubs and the members themselves and giving you an idea of what each club has to offer. Now, let me introduce you to our guests for today, starting with William, and we'll go around to Morgan and then Naya. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves, a bit about why you joined the club, what course you're doing, that sort of thing.
Okay, so hi, I'm Will. I'm going into second year of graphic design. I've been doing archery at uni for 2 years now, and I'm currently the chairperson.
Hi, I am Morgan. I'm also going into second year. I'm doing physics. I went to the Archery Society on a whim last year, and now I'm the secretary.
Hi, I'm Nia. I'm a second year animation student, and I'm the equipment manager.
Nice. Well, those are your guests for today, all quite high up in the ranks, and second years as well. The first years are taking over essentially. A lot of the clubs. What I've realised is that a lot of the committee members this year are actually first years going into second year. So plenty of promise there, plenty of time to get stuff done. So, first of all, we're going to start with the pretty basic question, which everyone wants to know. What made you want to start or join the club?
Basically, I did a long time ago, I think it was like my 10th birthday. My mum gave me an archery party. It sounds really lame. I know. It sounds really lame.
Interesting, isn't it?
I know. And I hadn't had a chance to do it because I live in the middle of nowhere. To do it until uni, so I was like, I don't have anything better to do in my evenings. So I decided to just join the archery club. It's gone well so far.
It's fair enough. It's fair enough. I mean, it's a pastime's a pastime. Morgan, how about you?
I always saw it in movies and stuff, right? You see like the Avengers, you got Hawkeye. He's always like, shooting his shots and stuff. I was like, you know what, that looks pretty cool. So I went and gave it a go, and it was actually really fun. And that is just how I got into it.
Maybe we'll see you in a Marvel film one of these days.
Oh yeah, I'm in the next one.
Put those skills to practice. What about you, Naya?
Well, I've been into archery since I was 10 years old. I taught myself how to shoot. So I picked up all the bad habits. Then I joined some other Bulgarian clubs. I'm from Bulgaria, sorry. And when I moved to England to pursue animation, I just noticed that there's an archery club, and I was like, I just have to join. So I joined.
Well, I mean, it's one of those where you've got to find something you enjoy at the end of the day. Whether that's archery or something else. But in terms of the group itself, then it sounds like a pretty obvious question, but I'm guessing it's open for everyone. It's open for all genders. We've got mixed guests here, so I'd imagine that's the case. But how would you sort of describe yourselves as a club then? Is it a very warm club for people that maybe don't have the confidence maybe or are a bit nervous about joining a club?
Yeah, I feel like from the start we're more like open arms to anyone. Like there's no restrictions, no discriminations. I feel like even if you know a lot about archery compared to nothing, we'll still welcome you in, help where we can, really. There's no point restricting it.
Yes. Yeah.
It just doesn't help.
Yeah, we've also had people come in from all skill levels as well. So I came in knowing nothing. You've got Nia who came in knowing, you know, a decent amount. We've had people who've won. What have people won? Will?
Certificates.
Yeah,
No.
people have won trophies. There was
Wasn't
somebody
someone
that
in
was
the world's competition?
there was somebody in like an Olympic team or something
Wow.
that we had.
That's quite a step. You know, a lot of people will see this as a chance to sort of meet new people. And a lot of the clubs that I've spoke to have said that, you know, they all have this sort of welcoming atmosphere. How important do you think that is in terms of not only gaining new members but also keeping them around?
I think it's like as long as people are happy, I feel like they'll enjoy what they're doing, and we want to make. We don't keep archery quiet. We keep it safe as much as we keep it fully safe, but we want it to be happy, friendly. We do team activities and just keeping it lively, really.
Has anyone almost been hit before?
Well, there
Or
was
like someone accidentally stepped over whilst you're still trying to have a go?
yeah, it actually happens like more often than we like to admit. Like, because like usually the group is pretty big, like maybe 20 to 25 people at least in the beginning, in the first semester, and like since it was only Owen and Will that were like actively like looking around and like trying to keep people safe, and like there's always usually this one person that always like drags all the way back from the targets with the picked up arrows back to the shooting lane. And like if you just don't notice that person, you just like shoot when ready, and the person is still there, and he's like, "Excuse me." So yeah, it happens.
We have not shot anyone yet.
Yeah,
No.
we haven't shot
Okay,
anyone.
okay, let's
but,
just
like,
we'll put a line under that and just say that no one has been harmed.
No one has been.
No.
All
If
fine.
If anyone's
we're all
scared,
fine. We just like
if anyone's
yeah,
scared
we're
of
fine.
being impaled, then you don't have to worry about it because it hasn't happened yet. So
Not yet.
Exactly.
No.
not yet.
yeah.
So, I mean, we talk about impaling. Are these like genuine arrows? You know, because a lot of experience, some of the experience I've had with archery is the one with like the suckers on the ends, which aren't fantastic. But like this is like proper archery, right? This is like industry standard bows, arrows, all that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All of our equipment is like legitimate. We've got probably over 150 arrows that can be shot safely. Probably about 10 to 15 bows. Like myself and Nia, we both have our own bows that we can bring in. That are all from a shop that we get from. So there's rarely an issue with the equipment. But it is.
I mean, where and
Yeah,
how
go
often
on.
do you guys meet then? Sorry. So is it every, I'm guessing you meet maybe once a week. You know, I mean, give us an idea of how that sort of structure works then for the club.
We meet once a week for, I think it's about 2 hours. We do it in the sports hall in the Salford Uni Sports Centre. So we get there, we set everything up. We have like a big net that goes across the back wall so you can't shoot the walls. And we then put all our bosses and stands out, which is all our big targets and everything. And then we set up all the bows and everything. And then from there, you hand everyone out some arrows. And then we start shooting.
So is it a bit more, is it very much like a sort of a free reign in that sort of sense? Or is there a genuine, or is there more of like a structure to maybe new members who are joining for the first couple of weeks? You'll have sessions on how things work. And then after that, it's just sort of, you go in, pick up a bow and practice, or is there sort of a regimented idea behind it?
We do a basic training course, which everyone has to do, basically. You can't just waltz in and pick up a bow if you've never shot one before. You have to go over all the safety stuff we do, how to build the bows, all the commands and phrases we use, like shoot when ready,
Right.
Obviously, and then when it's safe to collect your arrows and stuff.
When paying for the membership for the group, you're also paying for the training course, which if it runs smoothly, which sometimes it doesn't, could be about 6-7 weeks ish.
Right.
But during that, you'll learn everything that you'd need to know to shoot safely. And then by the end of it, as long as you've done everything required, you get a membership to Archery GB, which allows you to shoot in other clubs buy equipment, and like shoot at the equipment stores.
Right.
So it basically just gets you into competitions as well once all the training's done.
So it's a bit like a license in that sense then. It's like a driving license, you know. You sort of get in, you can drive and stuff like that. Okay, so when people first join then, so how many weeks would you get before they have to pay the membership, and then how much is the membership fee itself?
Yeah, we usually give it a bit of leniency because we give 2 free sessions for people just to try. And then we usually, like, if they haven't really paid 3 weeks committed, then we usually like get the money in as soon as possible. And I think it's $50 for the year.
Yeah, 50 for the membership to the society.
Yeah, and then it's £20 for
Basic
doing the training course to get the certificate. And
Naya, you've got the most experience then from what I've heard from the other
Pretty
two.
much.
What would you say is needed then for archery? What sort of skills would people have to sort of adapt or learn to become, you know, good at archery?
Well, it's really important to listen to your coaches. Like, don't go off and just like, oh, I've watched the movie, therefore just know how to aim a bow. Don't just be like, oh, I'm just not going to listen to the coach. I've done 1 session, I know what I'm going to do. Or like, I've been shooting for a year, I know my stuff. Like, the coach is there, you have to listen to the coach because they most likely know, like, oh, they always know better. Like, even if they're just trying to like change your stance or like explain which muscles you use when you pull the string back and stuff, you just need to listen to them and not be opposed. Like since I've been shooting for like 10 years now, I have my pride like as an archer, and like when we had the coaches last year, and they were like, oh, your stance is bad, or like your shoulder is pretty bad, or like this bow is way too strong for you because you're a girl, that kind of stuff. This kind of thing just pissed me off because like if you're gonna give criticism, you have to like have like
you have to be open to the criticism.
Yeah, you need to be open to the criticism and basically just listen to your coach, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
So are the coaches really experienced then? They really know their stuff, and you know, how supportive are they in terms of, you know, maybe if you're not feeling so good or if you're not feeling completely confident, how good are they at really, you know, getting everyone involved and making you feel as comfortable as possible?
Yeah, we had last year we had 3 really good coaches that I believe they'd been shooting for years, and they had gone basically through all of us, just tweaking, getting people shooting better. And I felt before I even saw the coaches, I felt like I was shooting okay. And then as soon as they came in, a small 5-minute chat about how I could improve, and I was already shooting better because they saw like the flaws in how I was shooting. So it's very helpful to know that, as bad as it sounds, it's helpful to know that you're doing something wrong to then to improve on it.
Well, I mean, obviously, coaches are, I'm sure you guys would agree that the coaches are massively important. I mean, how big of a part do they play in the support of the whole club then? Because we talk about a family atmosphere. Are the coaches sort of a bit like the parents in that sense? Do they sort of put an arm around you if you're not feeling so good and things like that? You know, there's a real feeling of support there when you join the club?
I'd say the support lies on actually all of us who shoot, not the coaches necessarily. The coaches come in sort of when we ask them to, kind of thing. We tend to do like a short couple of weeks where they come in and help us all, kind of thing. So they're in and out. They're not as much of part of our sort of society.
Right, okay.
Compared to the members, where us members will go out and have a drink, kind of thing. But because they're, I think we pay a certain amount for them to come in and help us.
Yeah.
So they're not quite sort of on the friendly, bantery level as the rest of us, but they are incredibly helpful and so supportive when you need it.
Why do you think people should join this club then as a whole? I mean, if you were to sort of say to people, what sort of skills it can develop for them, let's say, then what sort of skills do you think people can develop by joining this club, and why you think that would help them at university as a whole?
For me, I feel like archery brought out confidence. I wouldn't say it's a competitive sport like something like basketball or football. It's very self-orientated. It's more about personal progression and like a goal. So I feel like if it's for someone that can be quite inward, or somebody that likes just doing things on their own, it can be quite good. But then on the opposite of that, there's a lot of team activities that you can do, working in a team to get higher points. But then as well, it's also very social, and you can find, like I've made so many friends now through archery rather than on my course, that it's been amazing.
Well, I mean, what about you, Morgan? Then, what would you say is probably the best thing, or the best thing that's this club has brought you, and what you would say to other people who would want to join the club?
Yeah, it is just this massive sense of community that we've got going on, because we can take it very seriously through doing competitions, that kind of thing. But sometimes we'll stick up. We had a Halloween shoot where we stuck like skeletons and stuff to all the boards. That was amazing. We all had so much fun. We had like pictures of, like pumpkins and stuff you'd had to shoot. One time we had like noughts and crosses on there, which is just fun to do with other people. And then these are people then you see every week as well. So then you get the sense of just building a friendship throughout the whole thing as well. And like Will said, the confidence boost it actually gives you is amazing as well, because it's just, when you get up there to the shooting line, it is just you. It's down to you. It's not a team sport. Can be if you're obviously doing competitions with other people, but it's just you have to actually start believing in yourself that you are going to do these good things with it.
Naya, what about you then? Obviously, like you said, you're from Bulgaria, so is this a great chance for maybe some international students that are coming over? Would you say that this is a really good chance to make some good friends and feel more comfortable in what could be a new environment?
Well, I don't think it's really a big factor of being international student or not. I've never really taken any interest in competitions, so I've never been a part in a competition in my life. And I think we're yet to actually hold a competition in the university. So I'm kind of looking forward to that, but like I'm not really into like the whole competitiveness, because archery for me has always been focusing on myself and my thoughts and stuff. Like this, on the outside, it just looks like a person who just shoots at the target and just like does this linear motion of going back to collect the arrows and come back. But basically, for me, just collecting my thoughts and or that kind of stuff. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, I don't really have any experience with competitions, but it could be a good thing, I guess. Nothing bad with a little bit of competition.
Yeah, I think it can be a release for a lot of people. I mean, sport, it gives you to something different from your course. You can meet people that aren't on your course as well. It's university wide, so it just gives you the chance to be with different people. We don't want to be with the same people all the time. As much as we love each other, you want to have a mix. Now, would you say that this is a good outdoor activity compared to football or rugby? I mean, is this more sort of flexible, because obviously you can do archery indoors and outdoors? So would you say that this is a good way to do it?
So funny thing about that is with archery anyway, shooting indoors and outdoors are basically two different things.
Yeah.
We have never shot outdoors, mainly because you need a bigger area to shoot, a bigger set, or you need a nice safe area with arrows going a distance. So our club is always indoors, which means we don't have any trouble with weather,
right,
or time because there's always light. But comparing to other sports, I feel like it's different. It's quite unique. Like, so many people can say they do football, but how many people can say they do archery?
Yeah.
So
it's the difference, isn't it? It's like standing out rather than doing like the usual stuff that everyone else
yeah,
do. It gives you something else to actually sort of talk to people, because it's interesting, isn't it? It's like I was talking to people from like pole fitness and kickboxing, and it's like when you've got something like that, rather than maybe your usual university sport. I'm sure you guys could agree with me in saying that it just makes an interesting conversation starter, or just
definitely.
an interesting thing to have on your sort of skill set, really. What would you hope that people would get out of it then? Obviously there's the archery aspect of the club, but as a whole, what would be your biggest hope for people joining the club? If you wanted, say for example, if a first year was to come to you at the end of the year and say, this was my favourite thing about, or this is what this club has really done for me, what would be that one thing that you really hope people get out of it?
Just the fact that you've met people, and even if you didn't want to stick around to do archery with us, we would very happily welcome you back to come out for drinks or stuff with us. Just the fact that you've made a couple of friends, really.
What sort of socials do you guys do then? Because obviously not everyone drinks. So is there a mix of socials that you guys do to incorporate everyone else's interests?
We didn't get to hold some of our stuff this year, but we used to do an archery tag thing. So there's a centre in Manchester where you wear like these vests and you get sticky arrows and you go, it's tag, but with archery. That's the kind of stuff we hope to go forwards to do. Just hold more sort of things where we can all just hang out, maybe have film nights and stuff, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about plans and stuff, and obviously one of the big sort of questions around a lot of our clubs this year has been, what are we going to do this year? What's the plan? Obviously for us, it's been a bit sort of up and down trying to figure out how to even promote the clubs for a start. I mean, what are your hopes for if you were to write down a list of plans that you would do, disregarding what's obviously currently happening at the moment, what would be your plans for the upcoming year in terms of maybe new ideas for socials or maybe competitive tournaments, that sort of thing?
I feel like, as we've all had a chat about it, we just want to make sure that we can keep the club running, keep it healthy, get more people enjoying the sport as it's not sometimes widely known. We definitely want to try and push more social events, because they're usually just a good laugh. And then this year we've said that we at least want to get one competition under our belt, because I've done a few, and as stressful as they are, they're very good to see how other people shoot rather than just in your club.
Yeah, I mean, it gives you a comparison point as well. I mean, I think everyone likes fun, but I think a lot of people enjoy that competitive edge as well. A lot of people like the idea of competitions and being able to, and you can also meet people from other universities as well, and from around the area. So, it's definitely something that's worth doing. In terms of the year itself, then, whenabouts are you guys sort of hoping that you can start meeting up again? Like how many members do you have at the moment as well, and how many sort of new members would you like to get into the club?
So currently we are unable to shoot we're unable to shoot for the foreseeable future until they can reopen the sports hall. So we're going to have to try and work out a way of getting people involved, even though they won't be able to shoot yet, which is going to be tricky. The only members we currently have are the committee. So as soon as it comes around to freshest time, we're going to try and see if we can contact some people, get the ball rolling.
Yeah, because mainly we don't know if any of the people from last year's team were like wanting to come back, or like planning to come back or are able to come back. So yeah, for now we just have the committee members.
Yeah, no, we're sort of having similar issues at the moment. It's just a bit of it's a very strange situation for most of us, really. Obviously, we've just got to sort of do our best to get by and try and make sure that it works as best as we can. But that is all we have time for today. I've got through all the questions. Quickly before we go, then, William, I would like just a 1-minute speech presentation on selling the club.
Yeah.
You're going to sell the club as best as you can in a minute. All pack all the positives in, all the best memories in, and try and if someone was to ask you, go on, sell me this club in a minute, what would you say?
You go.
Right.
No pressure.
If you're not really interested in sport, because I'm definitely not, and you want to get out, you want to do something with your life instead of staying in bed, because I definitely do that quite a lot. Archery is a good thing to do. You don't need much muscle, because I don't have much. You can come out for a few hours, shoot some arrows, and it's a good laugh. And sometimes I will bring in a piñata to shoot.
Oh,